Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Arsenal player now a major doubt to play against Porto tomorrow. It seems Arsenal's front line may not be quite at its full strength against Porto tomorrow. According to a report by The Standard, Arsenal could still be without Gabriel Martinelli, who is labelled a major doubt. Martinelli, who has been unbelievable for Arsenal this season, and last injured his foot in the recent 6-0 win over Sheffield United, and having missed the Brentford game, it's now being reported that Martinelli may miss out here too. This information says that Arsenal will hold their final training session on Monday afternoon, with a decision on the playing squad to be made soon after that. Of course, if Martinelli were to miss out against Porto tomorrow, it would seem that Leandro Trossard would be in line for another start. Although Gabriel Jesus could play out wide, there seems little reason to disrupt a front line that played well for periods against Brentford, and in truth, were it not for Aaron Ramsdale's mistake, that Arsenal front line would have probably begun to pick Brentford apart as they chased an equalizer, but either way, it would be a blow if Martinelli were missing tomorrow. Thomas Frank now shares what he said to Aaron Ramsdale right after Arsenal versus Brentford. Thomas Frank has shared what he told Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale right after his side's defeat at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday. Of course, Ramsdale has barely featured this season due to the arrival of former Beast goalkeeper David Raya. All eyes were certainly on the Englishman after having barely anything to do in the first half. His error handed to Brandford an unlikely leveler, but Frank believes that the same could have happened to Raya, and that is what he told Ramsdale after the game. He said, "I think I actually said to Ramsdale I don't think he deserves to be criticized for a mistake. I think it's more unbelievable pressure from Wisa. If you see the way he accelerates, it could happen to David Raya. I think it was fantastic pressure from Wisa, and if you saw how many times they went long, every single time we were very brave to go man to man. I said I think he is a very good keeper, and I didn't want him to be involved in that situation. Again, I can't say strongly enough. I don't think it was a mistake, but very good pressure from Wisa." You had to feel for Ramsdale after watching the ball hit the back of the net. The 25-year-old has made the headlines this season after losing his place in the Arsenal side to Raya, while Raya is expected to come back into the side as the Gunners host Porto tomorrow night. Ramsdale can hold his head high after Saturday's display. The goalkeeper ultimately kept Arsenal on level terms in the second half, and barring his mistake, he put in a solid display between the sticks. TalkSPORT pundit claims key Arsenal player really struggled versus Brentford. Andy Townsend believes Arsenal star Bukayo Saka wasn't at his best against Brentford on Saturday. The Gunners left it late to pick up a crucial 2-1 win over Brentford at the Emirates Stadium. Many expected Arsenal to continue their exceptional form in front of goal and blow the bees away, but Thomas Frank's side proved to be a stern test for the North Londoners. Kai Havertz's late header secured a vital 3 points for Mikel Arteta's man after Declan Rice had opened the scoring inside 20 minutes. While Brentford ultimately fell to defeat at the Emirates, you have to credit Frank for his game plan on the night. The Bees stifled the threats on some of Arsenal's key players, including Bukayo Saka, and Andy Townsend feels the 22-year-old wasn't at his best on the night. Speaking on TalkSport, Townsend discussed Saka's latest display for Arsenal. He said, "Bukayo Saka is normally always the go-to man, but it wasn't his best day at the weekend. He didn't quite get involved as much as he would have liked, but they have got so many good players." Saka has been Arsenal's talisman once again this season, racking up 31 goal involvements in 36 appearances in all competitions, but he did struggle against the Bees on the weekend with the Frank set-up, often nullifying his threat down the right-hand side. Whenever Saka picked up the ball, He was faced with at least two Brentford defenders, and the winger found it difficult to create space. Nevertheless, Arsenal got over the line on Saturday without Saka being at his best in the final third. That will be an encouraging sign for Arteta, who will be delighted with the players like Havertz and Rice also making an impact in big moments. Dermot Gallagher now shares why Kai Havertz didn't get sent off for diving for Arsenal this weekend. Kai Havertz made himself a talking point this weekend by diving in the Arsenal win over Brentford at the Emirates. Havertz ended up being the hero in the end by nodding home a dramatic winner, but prior to that goal, he had been desperate to get the winner by any means. That led to the German going down very easily in the box, trying to win a penalty. The referee didn't have it, and the VAR also decided nothing was going to be given, but with Havertz on a yellow card, some felt he should have been given a second card for diving. However, speaking on Sky Sports, former referee Dermot Gallagher stuck up for the officials in not giving Havertz a red. Speaking on Sky about the incident, Gallagher explained why Havertz didn't get his marching orders. He said, "What we have to remember here is that the VAR says no penalty. He can't recommend a second yellow card. The only time he can say it's simulation is if the referee gives the penalty, cause he is then deceived the referee. If he says no penalty, then the referee can't then go and send him off. So there is the dilemma. There is no halfway house. I think no to a second yellow because I think there is enough physical contact. I think he hits him with his hip. If you are going to send a player off for diving, it's got to be a clear dive." This was a pure separation from the Arsenal forward. The game looked like it was slipping away from them, and he desperately tried to get something from nothing. On another day, a referee spots this as a clear dive and gives a second yellow card. Indeed, you have to question why, if he didn't give the pen here, then why did Havertz get away with it? It mattered little in the end, of course, but it could have been a pivotal moment in the title race, and had Havertz seen red, then it might have ended 1-1. Alan Pardew names the Arsenal player who could be the difference in them winning the league this season. For Arsenal, still being in the mix is a huge boost, and after what happened last season, and crucially this season, they have some new players who have experience of winning trophies. One of those is Declan Rice, who led West Ham to European glory, and speaking on TalkSPORT, former Premier League manager Alan Pardew has suggested Rice could well be the difference maker. Speaking about how Arteta can manage the last 10 games or so, Pardew commented on how having Rice is a massive bonus for the club. He said, "All they have got to do is overcome this mental hurdle of what happened last year. All the stats are pointing that you are good enough. You are good enough. You have just got to see it over the line. The only thing I would add to that is the Rice factor. This kid has come in, sitting in front of the back two, and has given them a stability and an assurance that they didn't have last year. So if you are an Arsenal fan, there is a lot to cling on to." Spending over £100 million on a player is always going to raise eyebrows, even in today's modern game, but there can be no suggestion that the Gunners have overpaid when it comes to Rice. The England man has been simply sensational, and there won't be a single Arsenal fan out there who isn't appreciating what Rice is bringing to the table. Now, top of the league, Arsenal have it in their hands, win 10 games, and they are champions. It's as simple as that. Rice then has been a next level signing for Arsenal. Arsenal remain in talks with Euro giants over risky potential loan to buy transfer deal. Arsenal and AC Milan reportedly both remain in contact over a surprise potential transfer deal for Polish defender Jakub Kiwior. The Gunners signed Kiwior just over a year ago, and he impressed since his move from Spezia, despite not always being an automatic starter due to there being so much competition in Mikel Arteta's squad. Arsenal have already faced interest in Kiwior from Milan, and it seems they remain keen to do a deal this summer with the North Londoners open to an initial loan that could then lead to a permanent sale, according to Vigaches, as cited and translated by Team Talk. Kivior could undoubtedly be a fine signing for a club like Milan, but Arsenal might also surely do well to keep hold of the 24-year-old. Arsenal have had Zinchenko out injured recently, and Kivior has filled in well at left back despite normally being a centre back. Squad depth is important in a league as competitive as this one, and Arsenal surely need to keep as many options as possible in their squad, as they have often had bad luck with injuries before, such as last season, when William Saliba's absence almost certainly cost them the title. Kivior might not quite have it in him to start every game for Mikel Arteta's side, but overall, it seems risky to let him go when he seems likely to have a bright future in the game. Milan are a big club and clearly seem to recognize the potential in Kivior, so perhaps Arsenal can find a way to involve him more often, with Zinchenko perhaps the player who should make way instead after some unconvincing form this season, as well as his problems with injuries that have kept him out of the side for an extended period. 26-year-old to return to Arsenal following development over a £20 million transfer fee. Kieran Tierney could reportedly be set to return to Arsenal this summer, as Real Sociedad seem to be highly unlikely to pay the £20 million required to sign the left-back permanently. The Scotland international has done well since moving to Sociedad from Arsenal last summer, but it looks like it won't be easy to get a permanent deal for the 26-year-old. According to Mondo Deportivo, as cited and translated by Sport Witness, Tierney's asking price for a permanent move would likely be as high as £20 million, and that's not an amount Sociedad would be willing to pay. The La Liga club are not well known for spending vast sums of money, so this seems to be a bit beyond them, raising doubts over Tierney's long-term future. For the time being, the former Celtic defender will probably return to the Emirates Stadium in the summer, but one imagines another loan or a permanent move elsewhere is surely the most likely next step after that. Tierney has had some good moments in an Arsenal shirt, but there is now so much competition for a place in the team that it seems like an uphill struggle for him to get into Mikel Arteta's first 11 anytime soon. Then again, in a surprise twist, it could also be that Zinchenko's future is in some doubt this summer, as per recent reports. Football transfers have claimed that the Ukraine international could leave for the right price this summer, so perhaps that means there could be a role for Tierney after all. At the same time, however, it seems a bit surprising that a recent signing like Zinchenko, whose arrival pushed Tierney down the pecking order in the first place, could now be offloaded and Tierney pushed back up in the manager's plans. Arsenal among Premier League clubs battling for history-making AC Milan talent. AC Milan talent Francisco Camarda made history this season, and with his future at the San Siro uncertain, Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester United and Manchester City are all interested in signing the youngster. The player turned 16 on Sunday, but back in November, the promising Italian striker became the youngest Serie A debutant in history, coming off the bench in the second half of a game against Fiorentina at San Siro. The player is now eligible to sign his first professional contract with the Serie A giants, but things are not going smoothly, leaving Premier League clubs hopeful that they can secure his signature ahead of the new season. According to the Daily Mail, Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United and Man City are all interested in Camarda as they look to pounce on the exciting talent becoming a free agent. The 16-year-old has made 2 appearances for Milan this season, while scoring 12 goals in 30 appearances with Milan's under-19s. There is a lot of hype around the Italian star, which is why some of the biggest clubs in Europe are monitoring his situation. Writing in his latest exclusive column for Caught Offside, transfer expert Matteo Morotto has stated about Camarda's contract situation. He said, As of today, there is still no agreement between Milan and Camarda. Moretto added that negotiations will continue over the next few weeks, but that it's too early to know where Camarda will play next season. This will give the Premier League clubs hope that they can get a deal for the 16-year-old done this summer, but there are still a lot of things that can happen between now and then when it comes to the Italian youngster's future. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.